Good morning class 8 and today I am here to teach you new chapter which is chemical effects of electric current. Okay, so let's start chapter 15 of class 8. Okay, so before I am going to teach you about the chemical effects of electric current, let us know something about electric current. So what is electric current? So very first topic of this chapter is electric current. Let's see what is electric current. Okay, so when you see a metal wire, when you observe a metal wire, you found that there are some subparticles present over there, or we can also say that in the atom of that particular conductor or metal. Okay, and we know that every atom consists of some subparticles which are electrons, protons and neutrons. So I just want to tell you that protons and neutrons are situated in the center, or we can say nucleus of atom. Okay, and electrons are flowing over their circuits, over their orbits or around their shell. Okay, so when you observe metal wire, okay, when you connect a charged electroscope to uncharged electroscope by a metal wire, charge flows through the wires for a short time. While the two electroscopes are similarly charged, it is observed that only negative charge will flow through the wire, but positive charge remains fixed and do not move. So first thing that I want to tell you, whenever you passage electric current to a conductor, there are two charges are there, positive and negative, in which only negative charge going to flow. And what about positive charge? So positive charge do not flow. Okay, they remain fixed. So first of all, you just need to understand, if we are talking about electric current, you need to understand that if this is an atom of any metal, okay, this atom consists of some subparticles. Okay, first is positive charge particles, and negative charge particles. We are not going to consider neutron because neutron is neither positive nor negative. Okay, this is a chargeless particle, so that's why in electric current we are not going to consider neutron. Okay, so if this is an atom of conductor of a metal, okay, having two particles over there, positive charge and negative charge, and whatever the positive charge particles are there, they are said to be protons, and negative charge particles are said to be electrons. Okay, so and one thing that you understand, that whenever electric current passes through a conducting wire, only and only negative charge particle going to flow. Okay, and this is not going to flow. So because it remains at same position, this positive charge remains in nucleus or center of an atom. Okay, not going to move. Okay. Now So let us find out the observation of these fact. We observe that, I repeat again, that negative charge means electrons flow through the wires and positive charge means proton remains fixed and do not move. Okay, so negative charges means protons, sorry, negative charges means electrons flow through the wire, but positive charges, which is known as protons, remains fixed and do not move, do not flow. Okay. The movement of electrons are the components of electric current. One thing that I want to tell you, that the direction of water is just opposite to the direction of the movement of fish. Okay, and we can also say that the fish always move opposite to the direction of water. Similarly, here in electric current, negative charge means electron always flow opposite to the electric current, the movement of electric current. Okay. To make an electric circuit flow continuously, two things are necessary. First, unbroken path, which is known as circuit. So obviously, to flow an electric current, we need a circuit. We need a circuit, isn't it or not? We need a closed path where electric current going to flow. Okay. So first necessary thing is we need a perfect closed path. We need a circuit. Okay. The closed path of electric wire or conductor are said to be circuit. Okay, is needed for the current to flow. Okay, and for this copper wire is generally used. It is good conductor. So for domestic circuit also we use copper wire, because copper wire is a good conductor rather than aluminum or iron. Okay, so a switch is inserted in the circuit to make a break the circuit as it required. Okay, so switch is also necessary. Okay, so these are the pictorial representation of symbols of some electric components. Don't worry about it, I will tell you later. So obviously switch is also necessary because switch play important role like this way. Okay, so by switch we off electric applicants and on electric applicants. Okay, so conclude henceforth we understand within a circuit obviously there is a need of switch which turn off or turn on the flow of electric current within the circuit. Okay, so first necessary thing, circuit. Okay, so circuit is very necessary for the movement of electric current. Okay, second thing, that we also need a driving force called electromotive force to push the electrons that carry the charges around the circuit, and this is provided by the electric cell or generator. Okay, so whatever the cell it is, this produces a force which is known as electromotive force that push the electron that carry the charges around the circuit. Okay, so next topic is necessary thing for the movement of electric current. For the movement of electric current. Okay, so first necessary thing is complete circuit with switch, and second thing is there is a source of electromotive force. There we need a source of electromotive force. Okay, whether it is cell or battery, it is okay, no issue is there. Okay, so cell is a unit and a group of cell is said to be battery, so don't confuse within it. Okay, so obviously there is a need of a driving force. Okay, so there is a need of driving force. There is a need of driving force which is known as electromotive forces to push the electrons that carry the charges around us. So obviously there is a driving force generated by cell or battery, which force is known as electromotive force, that carry, okay, or that produces a force to push the electrons that unable to carry the charge around the circuit. Okay, so these are the two important necessary thing that you need to consider in your mind, or always keep with you, that obviously there is a need of driving force called electromotive force to push the electrons that carry the charges around the circuit. Okay, so these are the two important necessary thing to make electric current flow continuously. Okay, so after this, let us discuss another topic of this chapter, which is direction of electric current. Okay, so just I want to tell you that the flow of electric current, or the flow of conventional electric current, to be from positive to negative, and the flow of electronic current from negative to positive. Okay, so just to find out next topic, which is direction of electric current. Okay, so direction of electric current, just I want to tell you that electric current is denoted by I. Okay, we will discuss it later, or we will discuss in earlier and upcoming classes. Okay, so that always current, okay, the flow of current, or we can say conventional, okay, conventional current, okay, to be from positive to negative, okay, positive to negative. And we know that the flow of electron is just opposite to the direction of current, means electric current always flow, conventional electric current always flow from positive terminal to negative terminal, means from positive terminal to negative terminal, okay, from positive terminal to negative terminal. But electron always flow from the opposite direction of electric current, means from negative to positive. Okay, So I hope you understand the flow of electric current or electrode. Okay, so just wait, I will continue this topic. Okay, okay, so the next topic is conduction through liquids. Okay, let's see it is possible to conduct electricity through a liquid or not. Okay, we will find out the answer by this topic. Okay, let's see what it will happen. Okay, okay, so I will just mention the chapter name. It is necessary to always indicating the chemical effects of electric current. Okay, electric current. Okay, so this is chapter name. So let us proceed this chapter with next topic, which is conduction through the liquids. Okay, so let's see conduction through liquids. Okay, so just let's find out. So obviously there is a question come in your mind when you heard about conductor. So just I want to tell you that the conductor are the substances which carry electric charges from charged body, or it is able to flow electric current within it. Okay, so conductors are those substances or those material by which electric current can flow. Okay, are said to be obviously conductor. So that iron, brushes, aluminium, copper, graphite are the conductors, and air, wood, paper, cloth, rubber or plastic do not allow electric current to flow through them, and they are said to be insulators. So obviously insulators are those material in which electric current are not going to flow, are not can't flow. Okay, and they are said to be insulators. So obviously there is a difference between insulator and conductor. Always keep in your mind. Okay, now so far you have to use the tester to test the electrical conductivity in solid leads. Now the tester see the electricity can be passes through a liquid. So you just need to read two activity which are given in the page number 201 and 202. Okay, so let's find out. I am just telling you the final conclusion that the most of the liquid that conduct electricity are solutions of acid, bases and salt. That one thing that I want to tell you, that if yes, I know that water carries electric current, but it carries electric current in a very good manner with perfection. We just need to put some bases or acid over there. Okay, when you put acid in a water, then that water now said to be acid containing water. Okay, and that water is able to play the role of conductor or a good conductor. Okay, so just you need to put some bases, acids. Okay, and obviously we can say that the solution of acids, bases and salts are the good conductor of electricity. Okay, lime water also conduct electricity, and lime is an example of soda, and obviously this is lime is acidic, and let's see how the acidic and basic solution can conduct. Okay, so there is a experiment for this. Okay, so take two small plastic cups and take some distilled water in them, and add a few drop of dilute sulfuric acid, which is obviously H2SO4. Okay, in 1 cup, and sodium oxide NaCl, okay, in another cup, and test them with your tester. What will you find? You will find out they conduct electricity. So just conclude one thing, yes, electric current conduct through liquids, but when we put some amount of acids or bases over there, then they play a good role of conductor, okay. Then they play good conductor of role of conductor, okay. So I'm just going to write down. Most liquids that conduct electricity are solution of acids, bases and salts. Now, next topic is electrolysis. Okay, so just see what is electrolysis, okay. Let us study further what will happen to the electric current if it is passes through a water, okay. So it can be checked that the gases involved are hydrogen and oxygen. Obviously, see, there is an experiment to decompose hydrogen and oxygen from water, okay. So obviously it is also a process by which you prepare hydrogen. You will prepare hydrogen in laboratory. So what will happen? So when you put some obviously acid or bases in water, that's why whatever the acidic or basic solutions are there, they are good conductors, okay. And then after, when you put electric current over there, so obviously when you put electric current in water, obviously it is the combined form of hydrogen and oxygen. It will split into two forms and you get hydrogen and oxygen. So to separate hydrogen and oxygen from H2O, we use this process, and this process is said to be electrolysis, okay. So let's see about electrolysis. The process of breaking up an electrolyte chemically on passing the electric current through it are said to be electrolysis, okay. So obviously there are so many charges are there, positive and negative charges are there. They are said to be ions, and positive charge ions are known as cation and negative charge ions are known as anion, okay. So an electric current can bring about a chemical change, and obviously it changes from H2O to hydrogen and oxygen. We are talking about this, okay. So it is just a phenomena, it is just a process in which there is a break of electrolytic chemically on the passage of electric current over there, okay, through it, okay. And this is said to be electrolysis. And one thing that I want to tell you, that the copper sulfate, when copper sulfate dissolves in a water, it breaks up into positive and negative charges particles, okay. When you put copper sulfate in when you dissolve copper sulfate in water, obviously it breaks up into positive and negative charge particle, and these positive and negative charge particles are known as ions, and all the positive charge ions are known as cations, and all negative charge particles are known as anions, okay. So you just need to think about figure 15.4. When the electric current is passes through the solution, the cations move toward the negative charge, which is negative charge electrode, which is cathode, and the anion toward the positive charge electrode, which is anode, and this result the chemically change, okay. So you just need to understand about this figure, okay. So this is good figure.
to understand about anode and cathode. So anode is a point of positive charge, and cathode is a point where negative charge will come. So I just want to tell you that when electric current is passed through the solution, what will happen? The cation move toward the negative charge electrode, which is cathode. So at cathode, all the positive charge, all the cations, yes, positive charge particle ions come to cathode, and all the anions toward the positive charge electron, because we know that negative charge attract each other. Okay, they get attracted by each other, and like charges repel each other, distract each other. So by this principle it will happen. So you just need to make a proper notes of this chapter. Okay, next lecture we will discuss about some usage of electrolysis. Okay. So after usage and purification of metal, this chapter will complete. So let's complete it. No issues there. Okay. So I just want to tell you that obviously it is a process. The process, an electric current can bring about a chemical changes. Okay. Note that the amount of salt is added to very small concentration of solution for a salt, and hydrogen chlorine involved with the hydrogen and gas. Okay, so it is also necessary that when you take a water over there, you just need to put some amount of HCl or some amount of H2SO4 or some amount of NaCl, by which this water become a good conductor of electricity. And then after when you put electric current over there, what will happen? You get two components of H2O. So this H2O decompose in hydrogen and oxygen by this process, and this process is said to be electrolysis, to breaking down of charge ion. Let's see. I'm just telling you the definition.
So these negative charge particles come at anode, and all positive charge particles dissolve in water that attracted toward cathode. Okay, so this will happen during this process of electrolysis. Okay. Next topic is the usage of electrolysis. So there are obviously good usage of electrolysis. You can see so many things are electroplasted items are there, like see the jewelries and obviously tin plated can and chromium plated tap, chromium painted handlebar. Okay, so to just put down some amount of things over there, okay, on the surface of a substance. Just see, if you want to make this ring look like gold, you just need to put some amount of gold on the surface of this. Okay, so obviously it is done by the process of electrolysis to just change their cover, okay, with the help of this process. Okay, so electrolysis has the number of applications, and the most of these is electroplastic, the coating a thin layer of metal. Okay, so obviously there is a process which is known as electroplating. Electroplating. Okay, so just coating a thin layer of metal like gold, silver, copper, aluminium, isn't it? Okay, nickel. This is done either to protect to metal, okay, to make it look to obviously look attractive, and also for their rusting reason. Okay. So there are so many uses are given, like the gold or silver electroplasted on jewelry make it the cheaper metal to look like attractive. Okay, it look like gold but it is not gold, and it is cheaper than original gold. Okay, food keep in iron can gets expired because the reaction with iron to prevent this, iron is electroplasted with tin. Okay, and which is less reactive than iron to make tin cans they use to store foods. Okay, zinc is electroplasted on iron used to make breezes and automobiles, and the coating prevented iron from rusting. So for the rusting issue, for the prevention of food issue, and obviously there is also one which is shining surface, used for making shining surface of metals. Okay, these processes are uses come in use. Okay, so copper get transferred from anode to cathode, and the above the arrangement consisting the electrolytes, two electrodes, a source of current is known as electrolytic cell. Okay, so you just need to understand the last topic of this chapter, which is obviously extraction of metal. So we know that some metals are free in nature, and obviously found in nature, obviously not pure form of, we are not going to find out in our world pure form of anything. Okay, always everything comes with some impurities, either it is salt or gold or anything, is it? Okay, so any metal or any substances that present in our earth crust, okay, these all things come with some impurities, and we just need to first of all extract, to take out, and then after remove their impurities. And there is a process of metals such as calcium, magnesium, aluminium are extracted from their ores by the electrolysis. So by the process of electrolysis, we got pure form of metal by removing or extracted from their ores. Okay, hematite and magnetite, like cinnabar is the ore of mercury, and then after we got original mercury. Okay, so we first find get cinnabar over there, and then after we get
mercury by the process of electrolysis or by the process of heating it to removing their oxides and whatever the substance it is, like sulfides over there or hydrides. Okay, so there are the some impurities over there, we remove it, and we will also learn these things in class 10th. Obviously there is a chapter metal non-metal in which we discuss about these all phenomena of extraction of ores. Okay, so for this chapter, for this class, it is enough, and I think you understand this chapter. Just I want to tell you that please read this chapter twice, and then after make a good notes over there and revise it, and obviously complete the exercise of this chapter. Thank you.